Hello. As you know, Abhi, we are here for what? My DSA journey, not yours. Take it? So, if you are really interested in knowing my DSA journey, then you're welcome to watch this video. But if not, I would recommend go watch something else which suits you. Okay? Let's get started. Okay. So, first of all, let's try to understand a bit about me and why I chose DSA and who I am, why I'm doing this all stuff. So I am Upmanyu and a certified professional machine learning engineer. You can say that by Google because I have a certificate of that. That's the reason I'm saying by Google. But apart from that, in general life, I am a machine learning engineer by day and a bug bounty hunter by night. थोड़ा बहुत कर लेता हूँ, कभी कभी हो जाता है. But yeah, let's keeping this aside. Why and how I became this machine learning engineer. So, coming to the old story, when I was just completing my 12th, जहाँ पे मैंने कुछ नहीं उखाड़ा, बट ठीक है, कुछ नहीं किया, कोई बात नहीं, बट सोचा कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, वरना इज्जत कहाँ से मिलेगी. इज्जत नहीं मिलेगी तो कुछ और भी नहीं मिलेगा. तो सोचा ठीक है, करते कुछ करते हैं. एंड देन सडनली आई रियलाइज्ड आई स्कोर्ड इवन लेस इन सीईटी. लाइक ठीक है, ऐसे पूरे पसीने से मैं लाल हो गया था, क्या करता. बिकॉज आई वॉज सो फोकस्ड इन टू JEE कि आई ऑलमोस्ट फॉरगॉट एवरीथिंग. बट ओके ठीक है, एंड आई हैड माई लक. आई डोंट नो you believe in God or not, but that time God was with me and I luckily got into an engineering college. Like ठीक है, engineering college में आ गया. अब क्या? Now when I heard the term program, engineering is like something I thought like the one who builds the building or the one who is a mechanical engineer, like the F1 car banane wala, something like that. I never thought a software guy is termed as a engineer. That was the first time I realized that's an engineer. And I got into a course called computer engineering, which luckily I didn't knew what the fuck is programming. So that time I was like, programming aati nahi hai mujhe. मैं engineering कहाँ से करूँ? And then I saw this in around second semester. Yeah, second sem. I was into this course, C programming. I was like, C programming. I started doing something. I didn't even knew like what was a hackathon at that time. But I was seeing like कि कुछ लोग कॉलेज में बैठते कुछ नहीं बैठते. I was like, स्कूल में कोई तो बंक नहीं मारता था, कॉलेज में इतना बंक क्यों मारते. And then I realized they were not going out and to do some sutta and all those things, but they were literally putting their complete thing inside the hackathons. Then I was like, okay, hackathons. Then I made a group in my college and I just participated in a random hackathon of my college. And there I realized for the first time in my life, I learned HTML. And I was like, अब मैं बन गया hacker. Because after seeing what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript can do, I was so much intrigued. I was so much fascinated by my peer that time. Like, now I will learn hacking as well. मैं hacking करूँगा. But I don't know what happened. In 2020, pandemic came. पूरा गया. हो गया. बन गया मैं hacker. But no worries. होता है, we know life में ups and downs आते. But the funniest thing was, like, this was the point I started picking interest in programming. For the first time in my life, I thought that this is the thing that makes me smile, that makes my as a introvert life into something which could help others. So I was like, ठीक है, I love programming, but do I love to sit for 20 fucking hours to sit and code the damn कंप्लीट सॉफ्टवेयर, लाइक इधर से मैंने रोबोट को इधर से उठा के उधर रख दिया, आई मेड अ डिलीवरी ऐप और फ्लाइट ऐप, लाइक नो, लाइक नो, उतना नहीं करना है. आई वांट टू डू समथिंग which could be more kind of impactful. And then there was a term known as fine tuning. So currently what I'm good at is fine tuning. I can pick any code, random code you can say, and I can fine tune it to make it more improvised, more secure. And then I got into something called as Python. Like Python सीखा. Like ठीक है, मजा आ रहा है Python में. Python was the so easiest language on the earth that I didn't even know, like, just by speaking English we can interact with our machines, because till 10th I was told that machines can only understand zeros and ones. Q zeros and ones? Because they know current आया, current गया, current आया, current गया. That's it. They don't even know what is zero and one. But due to our amazing folks in our history, we saw that they tried to use this current आया, current गया method to term 0 and 1, so that machines can easily understand this lowest, सबसे छोटा level of language. ठीक है? And that term is called as binary. So you might have seen this Matrix movie, या फिर किधर तो देखा होगा, नहीं देखा तो देख लेना जाके, क्या है. So you might have seen that in Matrix movie some numbers are falling, some alphabets are falling from sky, and it's fully green, black कलर का कुछ है. And that thing is basically how machines understand that zeros and ones is basically machines way of communicating. Right? ठीक है, machines way of communicating तो ठीक है, but why do I had to learn programming at that time? Why I was so much interested? So why I was so much interested in learning that program? Why I was so interested in learning Python program? Why C programming? And why C++? Why these companies at all need to learn or use programs? So let's see. Biggest question in my entire life was, what is a program? I was like, ठीक है, program क्या है? I was just looking into some Google website, and then I understood like program could be something like set of instructions. Let's say I want to make a cheese chili grill sandwich. भूख भी लग गई यार. कोई नहीं आते. So now I want to eat this sandwich, for which I need some set of things to be there. That is, I want bread, I want this butter, I want veggies, I want cheese, I want a toaster, I want oven, gas, stove gas जो भी है वो, and a lighter, then plate, and कुछ चीजें चाहिए, ingredients I wanted, so that I could build this sandwich to eat it. Okay, so this complete process which I just thought in my mind was some set of instructions, and there were some few requisites, prerequisites, like bread, butter, jam, जो कुछ भी है, those were the prerequisites. ठीक है, to follow this set of instructions. So when I add these two things and explain my system or a bot to make this complete sandwich, it will understand like what things it has to use first, what's the next thing, and like that it will keep going, and at the end it will make a sandwich for me the way I want it. There might be some times where it might fail to build a proper sandwich, it might not make it in the right way, but that's what is termed as a bug. उसको तो फिक्स करना होता है. In engineering you will hear bugs, debugging. वही है जो तुम ये कांड करते हो ना यहाँ पे सैंडविच के पे, जो भी तुम बना देते हो विथ योर रोबोट, वही तुम्हारा बग है, उसको तुम्हें डिबग करना होता है. तो so coming to this back story now, This set of instructions is called a program. Like ठीक है, इसे we call it a program. Okay, fine. But then I saw this like इसको बोलते हैं program. That means to communicate with any electronic device, I need to know programming. Is it important? But then I see in my daily life, I use WhatsApp, I use Facebook, Insta. There, I don't have to make any code. Why? Because of this amazing thing called UI, जो हमें खाली स्क्रीन पे ऐसे इंटरेक्ट करने पे हो जाता है काम हमारा. We just type random words, मैसेज गया आया हो गया. We don't know the back story of what is happening in the back end, and that is where developers know, programmers know कि वो कर क्या रहा है, what app is doing behind the scenes. And if you want to learn those things, if you want to become someone who can understand the backstory of any app or want to protect anything from the world, from the internet, then you need to know programming, because that's the only way how you can actually communicate with devices. Because अभी इधर वापस because बोल रहा हूँ, because when you normally communicate via social media apps like WhatsApp and all, वहां पे you don't see what the Wi-Fi is doing. What is a Wi-Fi? You don't know. You will just say कि ये छोटू सा ऐसा वैसा दिखता है. Okay. Black color. नहीं, blue color. हाँ. It will be something like this. ये तुम्हारा हो गया Wi-Fi. Like, ड्राइंग अच्छा नहीं है, ठीक है, okay. But you got this की Wi-Fi है, ठीक है. You will have some port known as Ethernet port. Right? ठीक है, इससे इंटरनेट मिलता है अपने को. You do some recharge of your phone monthly package. So you'll say कि internet आ गया. Now you can use your social media apps to communicate with your friends, family, whatever you want. But you ever thought कि this internet is just a medium via which your messages are transferred from one device to another? But how is it being transferred is a fascinating story. So that time you will say like, ठीक है, I can see this girl sending a message to this guy. Sending message, yeah, sending message. Via what? The term called as internet. Okay? They are sending this messages via internet. She types some dil ki baatein, and he receives that dil ki baatein. But what she is trying to do is just fidgeting with her phone, and he is fidgeting with his laptop. But how are they able to receive their dil ki baatein? They are able to do it via this internet. And अब ये internet जो है, it doesn't know what is the language you are using to communicate, because let it be your English or Hindi or Marathi, Gujarati, Korean, Japanese, whatever the language you are trying to understand or communicate, machines don't know, because for them you write A or O. It's just a design. So if you really want the machines to understand what you're trying to say, you will need something that could convert these designs into meaningful things. For that, we have something known as numbers: 65, 1, 0. And the easiest number that could be interpreted by any machine is 0 and 1, that is binary. Okay? So, long story short, if you want a machine to communicate with another machine. As you saw in the previous picture, that girl was sending some love messages to this guy, and both of them are using some of the electronic devices. So let's say here this girl types hi. Now, what machine will do is in the backend, it will try to convert it into 104 or 105. That will be represented as 104, I as 105. And then from here, it will be turned into some binary numbers like 110100. You might be like, what the hell I'm just typing? Is it making any sense? Or is it just some random numbers? Whatever you want to think, you can think it for now. Because for now, I'm also just trying to see what I'm doing. So now what will happen is this number is easy to be sent via the internet. Now what will happen whenever there is a 1, as you might have seen in your 10th standard, Ohm's law. So there will be current flow. That means 1 is there. And when there is no current, that means 0 is there. Now, like this, the values are getting transferred easily to another device via the internet, which is very easy. Now when this person receives the message, again this machine will do is convert this back into the numbers, that is 104 and 105, and this numbers will be again converted back to high. Now this process of converting high to number to binary, binary to number to again letters is done within blink of an eye. Not blink, you can say microseconds, which you even don't realize. You're like, नेट स्लो हो गया, नेट फास्ट हो गया, ये हुआ, इसके लिए तुम्हारा नेट स्लो हुआ, फास्ट हुआ. ठीक है? So this is happening in the backend. So now, as you know, like this is the game that is being played in the backend, and that's how these lovey-doveys are able to receive the messages. This guy is able to work on his office work, something like that, or make some content. So we can say how human and devices communicate is they communicate via interconnected network of computers. So that's what the term internet means. It's like it's an interconnected network of computers. Simple words. So now you got it what the internet is, why your devices communicate like that, why you need to learn program. Still not clear why you need to program, right? बाकी समझ में आ गया. But again, the question is why you need to learn program? That was the original question. So, to make it more simple, now, as I just showed you the simplest form, that यहाँ पे you're sending this hi directly into binary form. But to do this, you need some language, right? And here also to do this, you need some language. This set of instructions which will be required यहाँ पे and यहाँ पे is termed as program. And developers learn these things. Once they learn these programs, this program will be called as higher level language, and converting into zeros and ones part is called as lower level language. LLL is, you can say HLL, because it's just letters to numbers. So this higher level language and lower level languages developers needs to learn, and that's how they are able to develop those apps which you use in your daily life without any worries. Like मजा आ रहा है यूज करने में ऐप, करो यूज जितना करना है. But you never know what's the thing developers has to go through their life. So I just came here to show you like what are these poor guys going through daily in their life. They are just sitting writing hundred or thousands of infinite lines of code daily, and just revising those things, resolving the issues, resolving the bugs. Because just imagine people writing bunch of lines just for your convenience so that you could communicate easily. That's the simple story. Not just communicate, but you can also do your daily life in a more lazy way. So simple thing is developers are the laziest person in the world. हाँ मैं लेजी हूँ, मैं भी हूँ लेजी बिकॉज आई एम अ मशीन लर्निंग इंजीनियर. ठीक है. तो नाउ यू नो माई स्टोरी. नाउ यू नो वाई आई लर्न इट. लाइक ठीक है, मुझे आलसी बनना पसंद है. लाइक ठीक है, आलसी बनते, अच्छे से बनते. दैट्स द रीजन वी डिड अ डिग्री. दैट्स द रीजन वी डिड अ कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग का डिग्री. एंड दैट्स हाउ वी बिकेम मोर लेजी. नाउ वट एवर वी वॉन्ट वी डू इट जस्ट बाई राइटिंग सम कोड. लाइक क्या पागल इंसान है, कोड लिख के क्या ही कर रहा है. लाइक वेट, ठीक है बताता हूँ. हाउ आई बिकेम लेजी आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. सो लेट्स से I'm not just using this thing to write every time multiple lines of code because I'm just lazy. But what I'm doing here is, now let's say मैंने कुछ लिखा, like I wrote few lines of code, and now what will happen is I will use this code in some other part of work in my day, and where I don't have to write code, where I can use the same code again. Getting me? समझ रहे हैं? So what is happening here is, if I want to do similar task in some other work, I will just use the previous code in that work as well. That way I don't have to write another code again. That way I don't have to do the same thing again. So it's the way you can reduce the task. So let's say I want to brush. मुझे ब्रश करने में आलस आता है. So what I will do is I will write a program that will come, a bot will come, will brush my teeth, and वो चला जाएगा. Simple, right? That's the daily thing I do. Like ठीक है, you might be laughing. ठीक है, हंस लो भाई, हंस लो, क्या ही जाता है तुम्हें हंसने में. मजे लो, मिल रहा है मजे, मजे लो. But the thing is, this one thing which I did was like, it's just one time thing. I just wrote once the code. But now for the entire life, I can just rely on that bot. But then you will like, ठीक है, machines also have their deadlines, expiries, not deadlines. Deadlines equal to expiry? No, 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 no. So, in short, machines also have their lifespan. Lifespan is the good term. So, now you're getting my point, right? Machines have a lifespan. That means the code which I wrote will not work every time. I have to improve the code in future when I see the code is not behaving as I expected. Instead of brushing my teeth, it brushes something else. Just imagine क्या होगा तुम्हारा. तुम जिंदा रहोगे नहीं रहोगे, वी डोंट नो. सो जस्ट टू अवॉइड दोज थिंग्स, जस्ट डोंट इमेजिन एट ऑल. भाई सोच के ही भाई just forget those things. Okay, the thing is, like, just to avoid those mishappenings, we update the code, we remove the bugs, we resolve them. Because who knows, कोई ऐसा आया उठ के सुबह सुबह, लाइक आज इसका मैं ब्रश दांत की जगह पे किधर और करने वाला हूँ, like, and he just tries to hack my system and like boom गया है अभी ये, बचा लो इसको, बचाना है तो. Like, then who will save me? That's the reason we have certain laws, we have certain rules, regulations, and all this shit around the world, so that we can be secured. Because at the end बेचना किसको है, हमको ही बेचना है. So long story short, the thing is, we want to use things every time, and we want to make our life even simpler. Simpler का simplest version चाहिए अपने को. ठीक है. So that's the reason we learn programming. And this being lazy is the loveliest thing I love to do. ठीक है. So that's how I became a expert at coding. And then when I became expert, I started making others expert. I started teaching. And then I saw like, ठीक है, मुझे पढ़ाने में मजा आता है. I used to teach in college. I was enjoying the thing. And then during my placements, I got into an interview where now I had to teach machines in simple layman terms. So that's how I became a machine learning engineer. So now, instead of teaching people, I teach machines. Now machines learn and do those things. So that's how you got your AI, your LLMs, your machine learning models. Okay, ठीक है? So this is the complete funda of machines programming. What is a program? Why I need to learn it? This is what. Now let's jump back to the main story. My DSA journey, that is. Now let's see. I was saying कि I want to write hi. Now what I will do is I will write some code that will see this is high. So this high level language will be there, and then which will convert them into some things, that is numbers. Let's say 104, 105. Now to do this, we have something known as translator. What it will do is it will try to understand this language, because to do this we need some language. So this will act as a translator which can easily convert that language code, because this code can't be just one type of language. As you have seen in the world, there is something known as Java, something known as Python, something known as C, C++, Go, Rust, Perl, Ruby, और भी बहुत कुछ है. So now as you're entering the field of this amazing program, always remember, खाने के नाम बहुत आएंगे, but वो खाने की चीज नहीं है. ठीक है? Now coming back again. So we need some medium that could convert this numbers code language, high level language, to some lower level language which can easily convert this into 104, 105, and then this could be easily converted into your binary 1101 000 1101 001, something like those numbers. Okay, so machines could easily understand. So this medium is known as a compiler. What it will do is it will take your code, C, Python, जो भी language का है, it will standardize it and convert it into numbers, and then numbers के बाद you will get into some binary format. So for this also, from numbers to this, there is a small lower level language. So what will happen is, let's let's play terming खेलते थोड़ा सा अपन. So what this will do is, this is much more easy. So अभी जो है ना, यहाँ पे you will have some procedural, this is simply a program. ठीक है? Now this program can be converted into some lower language programs like assembly language. ठीक है? And that is easily able to convert it into numbers and numbers to binary. ठीक है? So this is HLL, LLL. ठीक है? So this HLL to LLL का जो conversion होता है is done by this compiler, in short. So we can say something like a compiler is an application software that used to convert higher level language to its lower level language equivalent, because वो lower से higher में भी convert करता ही है. That's the reason equivalent मैंने word बोला, and I stress to it, equivalent. ठीक है? Now one more thing, अभी the story is not ended here. एक और चीज है अभी, that is the keyboard. The keyboard which you are using is in English for now. Okay? Now let's imagine you're living in Korea. You're living in Japan, or China, or Mexico, Philippines. Let's say there might be English keyboards, or there might not. There might be some other language keyboards, like some Russian keyboards. Russian. But come back. Korean, Russian, Japanese, Chinese keyboards होंगे. I don't know how the A looks in Chinese. Let's assume जो डोरीमोन में देखा तो कुछ लेटर था, ऐसा कुछ ऐसा था. अब ये कुछ इसमें कुछ A होगा, नहीं होगा, कुछ तो होगा, कुछ तो लेटर होगा ही ना. I don't know, कुछ कुछ होता था, देखता था. I was that time बच्चा था यार. So whatever I remembered, I just wrote. Let's say this is ABC. Okay, simple ABC. This are the letters on keyboard. Now, how this machine will know like this thing is A or this is B, what it is? Because for us who don't know Chinese or Japanese, they might look it as a design, some random lines. But similarly, machines also don't know, right? This A is just a design for it. Like as we don't know Chinese, machine don't know English. So वहाँ पे there we needed something that could standardize all these things on each and every keyboard, no matter the way the program we write in any language, whether it's in English, Chinese, Japanese, because it needs to be converted into code at the end. So code is basically your coding language is Python, C++, जो मैंने भी बताया, बहुत सारे लंबे लंबे नाम दिए थे मैंने. So those languages में convert करने के लिए we need something, someone, not something, someone, and that someone is ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. अब ये बंदे क्या करते हैं? They come, they take your keyboard. कीबोर्ड में जो ए का बटन है उसके नीचे दे विल राइट, जब भी ए प्रेस होगा कैपिटल है दैट विल बी पास एज 65, स्मॉल ए रहा तो दे विल पास इट एज 97. यस, अभी यहाँ पे अब कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए को अलग अलग ट्रीट करते हैं यहाँ पे. दैट्स द मैजिक इन प्रोग्रामिंग, स्पेशली इन सी एंड C++. बाकी का बाद में लिखेंगे, अभी क्यों पूछना, ठीक है. सो एज वी सॉ कि कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए 65, कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए 97, ठीक है. जब भी की प्रेस करेंगे दिस वैल्यूज विल गो टू द कंप्यूटर. नाउ दीज वैल्यूज एज दे गो दे अंडरस्टैंड कि हाँ ठीक है, नाउ दे कैन इजिली कन्वर्ट दैट थिंग इनटू zeros and ones. That's how machines understood, right? Once the machines have understood this, what they will do is they will take that language, that complete code, they will process it, they will give you back the answer. And then from this to your English journey, पता ही कैसा होता है. So that's the story. I know ये थोड़ा सा खिचड़ी खिचड़ी बन रहा है, but I just tried to make it as simple as possible for now. This is how what is happening behind the scenes. Not much, not less, but जितना भी मजा आ रहा है सबको, ठीक है. So these are the few things you needed to understand before we deep dive in our journey of coding क्या होता है, what is programming, and my DSA journey. I just wanted to give you the gist, like क्या चल रहा है, what is debugging, what is coding, why we need to learn Python or any language like C, C++. What is the DSA? अब DSA क्या है? Is like, now you know what is a coding, right? You have seen what is a program. So coding is basically the set of programs you write. Now set of programs जैसे कि you wrote program in C++, the process of writing that thing is called as coding. Okay. Now you wrote those things. Now what will happen is once you write those things, it will be some lengthy code, right? But now you need someone with some brains, not some random guy जो रट्टा मार के आ गया, just knows how to type and code. Not those people. The folks who have some brain, good brains. Good brains matlab they have some logic. They know the way to reduce those lambe lines into smaller lines, छोटे lines. And that's how they can make the code run even faster. Okay? And for those things, you need to know something known as data structures, algorithms. And this data structures and algorithm, club it, you'll get the word acronym DSA. ठीक है? So this is तुम्हारा DS. अब ये DSA मैंने कैसे स्टार्ट किया, what I will be doing or what I did, and अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ उसके थ्रू, मैंने क्या क्या किया है लाइफ में, you will come to know. But overall, this was the आज का ज्ञान from your own machine learning engineer. ठीक है? Until next time, thank you. Keep watching. Bye bye. Bye bye.